जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर, 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 जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर। अजर अमर अद्वैत अगोचर, अजर अमर अद्वैत अगोचर, हर 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 शंकर, हर 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 शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर, जय शिव। Together that line. जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर। सिर पर गंगा गलहि माला, सिर पर गंगा गलहि माला, हर 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 शिव शंकर, हर 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 शिव शंकर। टुगेदर जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय, जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव। दृग में ज्वाला कंठा काला, दृग में ज्वाला कंठा काला, हर 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 शिव शंकर, हर 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 शिव शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय 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 शिव शंकर। बेशक पाला खप्पर वाला, बेशक पाला खप्पर वाला, हर 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 शिव शंकर, हर 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 शिव शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय 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 शिव शंकर। जन श्री लाला परम कृपाला, जन श्री लाला परम कृपाला, हर 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 शिव शंकर, हर 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 शिव शंकर, जय शिव जय शिव जय 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 शिव शंकर। ओम हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव। Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidvaram Satgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. 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 So in the morning session, we had seen Srimad Bhagavatam, one prasanga of Samudra Manthanam. This session, we are going to see a glimpse of Mahabharata. Many people have different opinions about Mahabharata. Some have this notion that you should not read it at home. You ask them, why should you not read it at home? They feel there are a lot of conflicts which happen. So one Mahatma Ji said, now that you are not reading, has conflict stopped? You say, there is no connection. You might as well read and know how to come out of conflict. Mahabharata teaches us what not to do. It teaches us the pitfalls of greed, where it can take a person, whereas Ramayana on the other side teaches us what one should do. How love can take us higher and higher, and we can make our way out of conflicts through devotion and love, like Bharatji. Two brothers, Bharatji on one side, Duryodhana on the other side. One telling us how to live, one telling us how not to live. Puja Gurudev calls Mahabharata as poetic philosophy. He says virtues and vices are given hands and legs to speak. How that virtue and vice comes alive is seen in the poetic pen of Bhagwan Vedavyasji. There is one very famous statement, Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedartham Upabrahmayet. Itihasa Puranabhyam. Through Itihasa and Purana, Vedartha, whatever is the essence of Veda, that should be expounded. Whatever is not clear in Vedas, that will become clear through Itihasa and Purana. So then what becomes our Mananam? You take any portion of Itihasa Purana, either Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, then try to see what part of Vedanta is getting elaborated here. We'll see in the story that we see today, you will find Karma Siddhanta coming, you will find description of Lokas coming. What is not elaborated in Upanishads, in Bhagavad Gita, we will find lot of elaboration in Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana. It is said Bhagwan's creation, he runs it not only with all of us. We also help run Bhagwan's creation. How is it? We give karma phalas to each other. That is how Bhagwan runs this world. Karma pradhana vishwa kare rakha. Making karma as the supreme, Bhagwan protects this world. Jo jaisa karai, so tasa phala chakha. Whatever actions one person does, according to that result he gets. But if Bhagwan needs to accomplish some special task, then he has few people, his trusted people. They are called as Karaka Purushas. Karaka Purusha means a person who has gone to Brahmaloka. And he will stay with Brahmaji until the creation dissolves. In that exalted loka, they are going to stay with Brahmaji. Now and then, if Brahmaji needs to fix something here, he will send people from Karaka loka. So they will come here, accomplish the task, and go back. Many people believe Swami Vivekananda himself has said he was a Saptarishi. There is a very famous bhajan, Saptarushi Bhuvanadinda Banda Vivekananda. From the world of Saptarishis has come Vivekananda, who is here for a specific purpose. They are not here because of karma pressure. Brahmaji has sent, they will do something, and their magnitude of work is something phenomenal. Like that, one great person in Brahmaloka, his name was Mahabhishaka. Mahabhishaka, he was there in Brahmaloka. Now in Brahmaloka, they follow a lot of rules. How Brahmaloka might be, that you will get to see in Mahabharata. So one day Ganga Devi, she walks into Brahmaji's court, where all of them are seated. And right at that time, wind blows. And she was wearing a sari. And her pallu, it just moves with that wind. And everyone is so disciplined, everybody looks down. Except Mahabhishaka, who continues looking at Ganga Devi. Because he continued to look, he transgressed the rules of Brahmaloka. Brahmaji says, you will have to go through some prayashchitta. You will have to do certain austerity so that you can make up for your mistake in Brahmaloka. What was his mistake? He just looked at Ganga Devi. Not even looked, he kept looking at Ganga Devi. So then what is his prayashchitta? Brahmaji says, first thing is you will have to go to earth. You will have to be born as a human. Imagine, for them, curse is to be born as a human. He says, you have to come here, I have to accomplish some work also, you go there. And second, he says, you continued looking at Ganga Devi, and I know your thought, you are infatuated by her. So when you go there, you will come to know what is the limitation of sense objects. So she will give you some experiences in such a way that you will come to know how heartless she is. You just saw one side of it, you have to see the other side also. He says, worldly joys have sorrow hidden behind them. Until you go through it, you will not get it. So he says that, and he curses Mahabhishaka. Prayashchitta or curse, both kind of similar. Now while this was going on, there was one king, his name was Maharaja Pratipa. Very noble king, powerful, and also austere. Loved by all Praja, everybody loved him. So he was ruling over here. Mahabhishaka, who was cursed by Brahmaji, he is born as son of Pratipa. Son of Pratipa. Very knowledgeable. The son also became very knowledgeable, and he had a very special boon. Whoever was sick, whoever was getting old, if he would keep their hand, if he would keep his hand on their head, that person would become young, energetic. All his sickness would go away. Agitations of the mind would quieten down. That is where he got the name Shantanu. Tanoti means one who quietens down. Tanoti means one who spreads. Sham means peace. So the one who spreads peace, that person's name is Shantanu. So Pratipa, he was very happy with Shantanu. He said he is the right person, very well knowledgeable, educated, has his heart in the right place. So he gave the kingdom to him and he went into the forest. This is the story of every king. Either it is Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, they live a good life, devoted life, pious life, but end of the journey is they will go into the forest to seek Bhagavan. Now remember, Ganga Devi is not reached back yet. She has just started walking from Brahmaloka. All this has already happened now. Mahabhishaka got cursed, he has come down as Shantanu. So Ganga Devi on her way back starts thinking, what all things happened there? I just went, this wind blew, Mahabhishaka was looking at me, suddenly he got cursed, he has already gone. So she feels, I am in some way responsible for what happened to Mahabhishaka. And she says, I will try to bring him back. I will try to help him whatever best way I can. So while she was thinking, her eyes fell on 8 very bright, brilliant boys. They were walking. They were as though going in a hurry, coming from somewhere. She asked them, where are you going? Who are you? They say, we are Ashta Vasus. 8 Vasus. We have also been cursed. What is our curse? Same, going to Martyaloka. But you are a Devi, we need your help. We did a small mistake. What was our mistake? Vasishtha Maharshi was doing Sandhya Vandanam. And we just passed by without noticing him. We did not bow down. So he did not like our arrogance. That is why he cursed us to go to Martyaloka. Now we don't mind going there. But they say we don't want to be born through any ordinary person. You are the goddess who goes from Vaikuntha Loka all the way till Martyaloka. We want to be born as your son. Then Ganga Devi asks, who should be your father? She says, Shantanu has taken birth and he has become a very pious king. We want him to be our father, Mahabhishaka. Ganga Devi says, this cannot be serendipity. That I was thinking this, I meet them, they give me this offer. So Ganga Devi, she also puts a condition. He says, I will go down, you can be born as my son, but at the same time, all your conditions are not acceptable to me. Because they had said, we want to be born in Martyaloka, but we don't want to stay there too long. So she says, at least one son should stay with me. Out of 8 of them, one son should be mine. Otherwise, what is the point? I go there, do everything for you. You are just born and you come back. So she says, that is my condition. So Vasus agree. They say the 8th Vasu who is there, his name was Dyu. Dyu. He says he is very powerful. We will put 1/8 Teja in Dyu, also known as Prabhasa. He will stay with you in Martyaloka. So now Shantanu, he was a very pious king And one day he was just going around the banks of Gangaji. It is said about Shantanu, before any problem comes, he would find a solution. Before anybody could anticipate sorrow, he would find a way to remove that sorrow. That was Shantanu. So he goes on the banks of Ganga Devi and he sees a beautiful lady standing there, Ganga Devi. He doesn't know who she is, but he feels like talking to her. He remembers the words of his father, Raja Pratipa. When he was going to the forest, he said, "A divine celestial goddess will come and ask you for marriage. When she comes, don't say no." Mahabharata, I tell you, there is no open end. All dots are connected. So he remembers that, asks who she is, and asks her, "Will you become my queen?" Ganga Devi says, "I'll tell you later who I am. I am also ready to become your queen. But I have only one condition." What is that condition? Whatever I do, either it is good or bad, you will not question me. Whatever I do, you will not question. That is all. Shantanu says, okay. He was so much in love with her, he says, done. So both of them get married, and the first child is born. Ganga Devi takes the child, offers the child to her own water. We have to be very careful while telling this story. If you read different versions of Mahabharata, different words are used. Ganga Devi flung the child, this and that. Best way is, she offered the child to herself. She is Ganga Devi, her own water, she offered. 7 children. Shantanu kept watching. Could not utter a word because of the promise. 8th child, when she was ready to take to the water, he could not bear it. He said, "Oh my God, what kind of a heartless person you are. First tell me, who are you? That 7 children you offered to water, 8th one also you are taking." Then Ganga Devi says, "You have broken your promise. I am going away. Your promise was you will not question me whatever I do, and you have asked this question. That itself is breaking your promise." Then she tells him what was the story behind all these Vasus. For them it was a curse to stay as a human. So all of them have gone back to higher worlds, and that is why she was here to give them moksha. She says, "I accomplished Bhagwan's work while I was staying with you. Now the 8th son who is there, I will give him back to you. But let me take him with me to train. I will teach him, then I will give him back to you." It is said by this time, when Shantanu went back to the palace, he learned whatever lessons he had to learn. Who was Shantanu in the past birth? Mahabhishaka. What was his fault? Stared at Ganga Devi. And what did Brahmaji tell him? You will have to go as human being, go through that experience, and see the sorrow behind that joy. That he saw through 7 of them going away one by one. Ganga Devi herself going away, along with his son, taking him also away. So Brahmaji's prayaschitta was complete for Shantanu. Then he continued to rule, and he ruled very well. Shantanu was a noble king. But inside, he always had that desire to see Devavrata. Because Ganga Devi had told him, this eighth son's name will be Devavrata. And he had seen Devavrata just as a baby while she was about to carry him to Gangaji. That's all he had seen. So while he was there, he was always thinking, when will I get to see him? So one day he is going by banks of Gangaji, and suddenly he notices the flow of the river has gone down. He says, in my kingdom, river drying up, how is that possible? He looks around. What does he find? There's a young boy, very handsome, bright and brilliant. He has created a dam with arrows and is awestruck by his archery. He says, who is this boy? Because he had seen him only as a child, he does not recognize he is his son. But Devavrata recognizes him. And he suddenly disappears. So our Shantanu, he prays to Ganga Devi. He says, please come and tell me who this boy was. Ganga Devi appears in a form and she tells him about Devavrata. Who is Devavrata? All of that she reminds him. Shantanu is so happy to hear. There is a nice description in Mahabharata, Gangaji introducing Devavrata. She says, 15 years, 20 years he has spent with me. This is all I have taught him. She says, in valor, he is unmatched. Nobody can beat him when it comes to warfare. Veda and Vedanga, he has studied from none other than Vasishtha Maharshi. Do you remember who cursed those Vasus? Vasishtha Maharshi. He is the one who taught Veda and Vedanga to Devavrata. And he says, somebody might be very powerful, but not necessarily they will be loved by everybody. She tells, he is such a person who will be loved by all. And his warfare, he has learned from Parshuramji. And he is very well controlled in his sense organs, mind. At the same time, he is devoted to Bhagwan Krishna. And he is a Tattvajnani. He knows the nature of the self. This is your boy, I hand him over to you. So Devavrata is handed over to Maharaja Shantanu, who is overjoyed to receive Devavrata. He takes him back to the kingdom. Right after some time, appoints him as Yuvaraja. Yuvaraja means king is still Shantanu Maharaj. But the legwork, day-to-day administration is done by the Yuvaraja. So Bhagwan Rama was appointed as Yuvaraja. Dasharatha Maharaj said, you are the king designate. Or they have PM designate. Next person is you. So Devavrata was appointed as Yuvaraja. 4 years, Shantanu Maharaj roamed around, carefree. Next part is very interesting. Shantanu Maharaj, one day, he was going in the forest. He comes across a very divine fragrance. So enchanting that it just pulls him towards that. And it was a lady, her name was Yojana Gandha. Previous name was Matsya Gandha. Matsya Gandha means one who smells like fish. Matsya means fish, Gandha means smell. Parashara Rishi came and he blessed her that this will be a unique fragrance for one Yojana. So her name became from Matsya Gandha to Yojana Gandha. And he is so much infatuated, falls in love with Satyavati, for simplicity. And he goes and asks her, will you marry me? Now in Mahabharata it is written, nobody even thought that Shantanu Maharaj, after going through all this, would enter into that same cycle again. He says that is the power of vasana. That is how this mind can take anybody, anywhere, at any time. Satyavati says, I don't mind, but you will have to talk to my father. You will have to come and talk to my father. So her father is the chief of fishermen. His name is Dasharaja. Dasharaja, the chief of fishermen. All of them go, and Shantanu Maharaj asks Dasharaja, can I marry your daughter? He says, you are such a great king. Why would I say no? But I just have one condition. Her son should sit on the throne. Because kings those days had many wives. Even if you have other wives, other children, the one who should sit on the throne is Satyavati's son. So Shantanu Maharaj was a dharmanishta. On one side he was pulled by desire, another side he was pulled by his dharma. And he loved Devavrata very dearly. He said, I have already appointed him as Yuvaraja. Because of this, I cannot go back. So he disagrees, doesn't agree to that condition, comes back to his kingdom. But from the day he has come back, he is not the same. In his mind, he is remembering Satyavati. Suddenly stares at the moon. Very quiet, doesn't talk. Sings songs sometimes. मेरा जीवन कोरा कागज कोरा ही रह गया. Devavrata notices. He says, Father, you were not like this before. Tell me what is the matter. Shantanu Maharaj says, you are very dear to me. I keep thinking about you. No calamity should come on you. No harm should come on you. Knowing very well that you are equivalent to 100 people, 100 sons, I don't want to get married again. This much he says. But Bhishma or Devavrata, until now, he is very sharp. He goes and asks minister, where all did my father go? Traces back his trail, comes to know this is what has happened with Dasharaja, the father of Satyavati. So he takes his own people, directly goes and talks to Dasharaja. And Dasharaja does his atitya, does his pujanam, gives him a lot of respect. And he says, can your daughter get married to my father, Shantanu? Dasharaja says, what better match can I find for my daughter? But only on one condition. What is it? Her son should sit on the throne. And listening to this, Devavrata, he says, for my father's happiness, I make this promise. That no matter what happens, I will make sure that Satyavati's son will sit on the throne. Once I give a word, he says, there is nobody over here who gives promise like me. Neither in the past nor in the future. If I have made a pratigna, that will be my pratigna. I will not sit on the throne, not only this, but I will also protect the throne of Hastinapura. Dasharaja, he doesn't seem very pleased. He says, this is okay. Until you are alive, you might not sit on the throne. But what if your kids come and they fight with Satyavati's children to sit on the throne? Then Devavrata says, I make second promise that throughout my life I will follow brahmacharya. I will not sit on the throne of Hastinapura, and I will follow Akhanda brahmacharya. Because of these two promises, he got the name Bheeshma. One whose vow is very ferocious. No matter what happens, he will not break that vow. That brings him the name Bheeshma. Here it is said, we should also notice the role of Dasharaja. If he had not asked for these two promises, we would not have known Bheeshma. Devavrata would have remained Devavrata. The greatness of Devavrata to Bheeshma, we would not have known. Shantanu is very pleased with what Bheeshma has done for him. He says, I feel so blessed to have a son like you, who did not even think twice for happiness of father. And as a blessing, he tells Bheeshma, you will have Ichamrityu. Shantanu blesses Bheeshma that whenever you want to give up this body, only then you will give it up. Until you want to live in this body, you will continue to live. And there is a nice verse which says, don't think I am blessing you. He says, your purity is such. This is a very small result of your purity. That is Shantanu's blessing to Bheeshma. Now we should see what is happening in Bheeshma's mind. Remember the introduction that Ganga Devi gave about Bheeshma. He was a great devotee of Bhagwan Krishna. Bheeshma says, Bhagwan, people struggle in this world to do karma yoga, to let go of attachment and to serve. People struggle so much. And see how blessed I am. I am getting all of that without asking anything. So how was his life? He has to protect the throne of Hastinapura. So he has to be very active in the administration of the kingdom. But at the same time, no attachment to the throne. Is that such a great blessing? I can take Bhagwan's name. Whoever wants advice, I will give. Whoever wants some work, I will do. But after that, I am with my Bhagwan. Nothing to do with Hastinapura. He said that's a great blessing. And on the other hand, brahmacharya. He says all his power is conserved for Bhagavad Prapti. So what looked as a pratigna actually turned out to be a blessing for Bheeshma's spiritual journey. So internally, he is always thanking Bhagwan, this is what I wanted, thank you for giving me this. That is one quality of a sadhaka. Others might think sadhaka is great, but sadhaka feels there is nothing great. Bheeshma Pratigna, everybody else feels such a great thing. But Bheeshma says, this was divine plan for my spiritual growth. Now in 1 hour we cannot cover Mahabharata. We'll have to fast forward. Vichitra Virya, Chitrangada, all of that happens. Now we will come to the portion of Rajasuya Yajna. Rajasuya Yajna is a yajna done by a powerful king to declare absolute sovereignty. That all other kings, they accept the rulership of this powerful king. And whatever taxes they have to pay, they will pay. They will continue to be the king. This king will not start ruling all kingdom. But it's like an ally. And look at the beauty. Because these yajnas and all, when you explain, they will feel what kind of king was he? Why did he have to take kingdom from others? The tradition is, after this yajna is done, the main king has to wash the feet of all other kings who have come. That is where the question came, whose feet should we wash first? Whose pujanam should we do first? There was a lot of doubts in other people's mind. Yudhishthira did the safest thing. He just went and asked Bhishma. He said, Pitamaha, please tell me, whom should we worship first? So many kings are there. What is the protocol? Bhishma says, first of all, it describes the glory of Bhagwan Krishna. He says, wherever Bhagwan Krishna is there, you don't have to think twice. He is the greatest of all. He is the Adhisthana, the substratum of this whole universe. All other kings who are there, they are like stars. And Bhagwan Krishna is like the sun. When the sun rises, stars are there. But they don't have any power in the light of sun. So you don't think twice. He doesn't even tell them. He tells Nakul, our Sahadeva, get argya, water. We will do pujanam right here. And with lot of reverence, they worship. Nobody understood what happened. Suddenly it happened. Then one king suddenly got up. His name was Shishupala. He says, what was your logic to do first pujanam of Bhagwan Krishna? What is the protocol? You have to wash the feet of the kings who have gathered here. He says, is Bhagwan Krishna the king? He says, no. Is he the eldest amongst all? His own father Vasudevji is there. So on what ground did you worship Bhagwan Krishna? And he goes on and on and on. Then there is a nice portion where Bhishma tries to convince Shishupala. And he explains that we did not worship Bhagwan Krishna because he is a relative. We worshipped him because he is worshipful. And he is Lord of the universe. That is why we worshipped him. Beautiful description is there of Virat Swarupa of Bhagwan. He says, don't think of Bhagwan Krishna as this person who is in front of you only. His power permeates the whole universe. He is not an ordinary person. Having said all of this, Shishupala doesn't hear. See, whenever our mind has abhimana, it turns the ear off. Hearing as though becomes absent. Sahadeva heard it. And he got charged up. Whatever Bhishma told, Sahadeva heard. And he makes another proclamation. He says, whoever thinks what we did was inappropriate, worshipping Bhagwan Krishna, can come forward. I will put my foot on their head. And then you have to fight with me. Sahadeva, we don't even hear his name. He says, that is the power of Shravanam. If somebody can hear Bhagwan's glory, the hidden potential inside is awakened. Hidden strength inside is awakened just through these words. It was directed towards Shishupala, but one who benefited was Sahadeva. So by this time, things had calmed down. Bhishma thought it is relatively quiet. So they continued with the yajna. Other kings were there, they were washing their feet. Meanwhile, Shishupala went and created his own group. This king, that king, he called everybody and instigated them to fight. Earlier he was alone, now he had his own group to fight. Now suddenly there was noise on one side of the court. Yudhishthira was little upset. He went to Bhishma again. He said, what should we do? They are not allowing us to do this yajna. Bhishma says a very nice thing. If there is lion and a dog, the dog will bark until the lion wakes up. So Shishupala is talking only until Bhagwan speaks. You just watch. We don't have to do much. He is there with us. He will take care of the rest. And with this, Shishupala goes on abusing Bhagwan. At the 100th statement of Shishupala, Bhagwan recounts to everybody what all things he has done. He doesn't directly finish Shishupala. He recounts what was his past, what are the things he has done. Because of those deeds, he says this is the result of him, takes his Sudarshana, gives him moksha. And it is said the Jyoti, this particular episode has confused many people, because they always think Atma means Jyoti. In Mahabharata serial, that's how it's shown, that Jyoti comes like this, then does Pradakshina thrice, then goes in Bhagavan Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdevji tells Parikshitji Maharaj, with whatever bhavana we think of Bhagavan, either with desire, either with anger, or with love, that person will get liberated. It is like touching fire, either with this thought that it is Agni Devata or some Asura. You touch with whichever bhavana, it will burn. Like that, Bhagwan's name, whoever takes it, even like a person such as Shishupala, with anger, hatred, even that person gets moksha. Now that doesn't mean we should develop hatred and then take Bhagwan's name. This is also said, because hatred, what it will do is, it will not allow prema rasa to come in our heart. Liberation might be there. See, Kamsa also got liberation. Ravana also got liberation, but no peace. So it is better that we get moksha along with peace while we are living. Bhishma, although he was on the side of Pandavas, on the side of Kauravas, his heart was always with Pandavas. We'll fast forward a little bit. Yudhishthira continued to be the king, very just king. Everything was good. When things are good, times fly. But one person was jealous. The seed of jealousy started from Rajasuya Yajna only. Duryodhana, he was feeling how much of wealth these Pandavas have. We should take away all of it. So he had this thought in his heart. Then comes the dice game, when all of that happens. Then finally, the thing is, the one who loses, they have to go for 12 years exile with 1 year of Ajñātavāsa. 12-year exile finishes, that incognito period starts. Duryodhana starts thinking, where are the Pandavas? Are they still alive? He starts wondering. 1 year is almost about to get over. Bhishma tells him, the one on whose side Bhagavan Krishna is, you don't have to worry about their well-being. They are very much alive and they are doing well. This much I can tell you. Then they start discussing. They have their own Dushta Chatushtaya. Sadhana Chatushtaya, you have Dushta Chatushtaya. Karna, Shakuni, Dushasana, Duryodhana. All of them. You say, what should we do? How should we find out? Bhishma tells them, wherever you see prosperity, wherever you see peace, wherever you see dharma, know that Pandavas are hiding there and they are doing very well there. I mean, that was his love. Inside he wanted their well-being. Then finally he tells Duryodhana that we should wait until they come. But Duryodhana says, no, let us go and attack. So they attack the kingdom of Virata. was the king Susharma. Taking the help of Susharma, they attack Virata. They take him to one side. The king of Virata, he goes to one side of the battlefield. And another side, Kauravas attack again. So Arjuna, he was the charioteer. Seeing the need of the hour, he comes to fight. Looking at the arrows which are coming, Bhishma says, I found Arjuna. This cannot be ordinary person. I have trained him. But our Duryodhana says, we found him before that 1 year exile. So what is the consequence now? They have to go for 12 years again. Bhishma does his calculation. And he says, you have to count Adhika Masa. Sometimes there is 1 month extra. Doing all those calculations, the 1 year time has already been completed. So after all this, time and again, Bhishma advises Duryodhana. He says this kingdom rightly belonged to them. They have gone through their promise. Until they were under the control of dharma, you thought they were weak. They have not lifted their bows and arrows yet. You thought they were ordinary people. The moment this clause is removed of 12 plus 1 year, you will see their prowess. They gave you a glimpse in Virata. Because in that battle, Arjuna single-handedly drives everybody away. Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhana, everybody is gone. They are tied. So he says, don't have this enmity, give them what is rightfully theirs. But whatever things are there, it doesn't fall on Duryodhana's ear. It is said, in between, Bhishma would get this dilemma. I had this question also, Bhishma being such a noble person, why did he continue on the side of Kauravas? And in Mahabharata it is said, he himself had this doubt. On one hand, he has made that pratigna. And Duryodhana is the one who is feeding him, taking care of all his needs. So his allegiance, one part is for Duryodhana. But on another side, he knows Yudhishthira is on the righteous side. And he is torn in between both these sides. And finally he says, Hari Ichha Balavan. Instead of over-analyzing my problem, let me think of God. Whatever He has decided for me, that alone is right. So finally, they try to avoid the war. Bhagwan comes as a peace messenger. Still it doesn't work. Then finally the war has started. Before the war starts, they have to pick commander-in-chief. So Duryodhana goes and tells Bhishma. He says, please become our commander, you are so powerful. Bhishma says, I don't mind. I'll fight from your side and I'll give my best. But I have 4 conditions. Everybody conditions, Mahabharata. What is your condition? One is, I love all these Pandavas. I will tell you openly. So from my arrow, I will not kill any Pandava. That is my first condition. Duryodhana agrees. He says, still it is okay, you come. We will take care of Pandavas. Second, he says, I will finish 10,000 people per day. Single-handedly. That is my strength. That much promise I can give. Third, he says, either I will fight or Karna will fight. We both will not fight together. Because he has unhealthy competition against me. If I am the commander-in-chief, I cannot go with another person who is trying to compete with me. So either I will fight or Karna will fight. Duryodhana says, okay. And fourth condition is, I will not aim at Shikhandi. Shikhandi, because she was Shikhandini, I will not aim at a woman. That is my pratijna. Duryodhana agrees to all four. He says, so be it, please become our commander. Now, there is a very nice portion about rules in Mahabharata war. Whenever we talk about Mahabharata, sometimes people have different impressions. Oh, it is only about war, this and that. But you look at what was their sensitivity about how war should be fought, Dharma Yuddha, how it should be. First thing was, medical facility and kitchen will be shared. They will fight until sunset, and after sunset they are friends. So if this horse needs medicine, it can get from the opposite enemy's camp. You know, there is a nice story, side story. This is not there in Mahabharata. Udupi restaurants, you know, very popular. It has a lineage in Mahabharata. There was a king of Udupi. He entered into the battlefield, but he said, I don't want to fight this war, not take any sides. But they said, you have come all the way, you have to do something. He said, I'll become the official caterer. You have common kitchen for both the sides, I will cook. But his cooking was such, very delicious, nutritious, apt, but food would never fall short, nor would anything get wasted. Everybody wondered, you know, cooking for battlefield is a very niche profession. Because every day the count is reducing. And if you don't cook sufficient, then people cannot go hungry into the battlefield. So how is it that your food doesn't fall short and it doesn't get wasted also? He said, I have a trick. Every night I go and see how many morsels Bhagwan Krishna eats. If he has eaten 10 morsels, I cook for 10,000 people less. If he has eaten 4 morsels, I cook for 4,000 people less. Means they are getting absorbed in the Lord, that much less is my next day's count. This was one side of it. The rules of the war, fighting only until sunset. After that, they are friends. Second was, only those who are equal strength will fight. If somebody is on an elephant, they will fight only with the other person on the elephant. Soldier will fight with soldier. They cannot fight with others. And you have to warn them before you attack. From behind you cannot attack. Without warning, you cannot attack. Then there are people who blow conches, who blow drums. There are animals which are carrying those chariots. They cannot be harmed. One commentator, he writes, look at the war then and look at the war now. Forget about those on the battlefield. Even those who are living outside, civilians, they have to face the brunt of something which is happening in that place. So this was their Dharma Yuddha. Is it okay if I go a little over? I'll just complete this portion. We can't leave in between. Before the Yuddha starts, Yudhishthir Maharaj goes barefooted, does pranams to Bheeshma, Drona, and Kripacharya, 3 of them. Bheeshma gives lot of blessings. He says, Vijayi Bhava, if you had not come, there was no way you could win. Your teacher is here, Dronacharya, and I am Ichamrutyu. How will you win? I will die only when I want to die. So Yudhishthira, with lot of humility, asks him, please tell us upaya, how to win over you. And Bhishma says, you are such a noble person. For dharma, to protect dharma, I will help you. But right now, it is not the appropriate time. I will tell you later. So Yudhishthira comes back and the war starts. Day 3 of the war, Pandavas show their prowess. All the Kaurava army is set on the back foot. Duryodhana, all of them are defeated in a way. Duryodhana goes to Bhishma and taunts him. He says, if you loved these Pandavas so much, you should have told me. Why did you become the commander-in-chief? Looks as though you are taking their side, not ours. Bhishma tells him, I have told you so many times. The side on which Bhagwan Krishna is, that side is invincible. On top of that, they are dharmic people. On top of that, they are strong people. So don't underestimate their strength. It is not because of me, but it is because of them they are fighting like this. But he says, if you don't believe my strength, I will show you my prowess tomorrow. Tomorrow you see what I do in the battlefield. When he says this, Duryodhana feels happy, and next day, Bhishma's fury was something inexplicable. Single-handedly, he was taking everybody to task. All Pandavas, their armors are broken, chariots are broken, the flag is broken somewhere. And Bhagwan Krishna looks at Arjuna. He realizes he is sending soft arrows out of reverence to Bhishma. Very gently he is fighting. Bhishma is fighting with all fury, and Arjuna here is responding very gently. And when his armor was broken, Arjuna's armor was broken, Bhagwan says, I don't mind even to break my pratignya. If I have to protect my devotee, I will do it at any cost. Then is a famous story where he takes the prasanga, where he takes the wheel of the chariot and rushes towards Bhishma. Right at that time, Bhishma puts his arrow down, folds his hand, does a beautiful stuti of Bhagwan Krishna. And when he is on his bed of arrows, he says, my Ishta Devata is that form of Bhagwan Krishna. With his sweat, when he was rushing with so much of anger towards me, he says, Bhagwan, I am so grateful, so blessed that Lord of the universe is rushing to give me moksha. Generally, people have to go to seek Bhagwan. Here, Bhagwan is coming to me. So while this was going on, Arjuna comes and calms Bhagwan down. He says, I will fight. Please don't break your pratignya. I will fight properly. Then there is a small dialogue that happens between Bhagwan and Bhishma, where he says, why did you take the side of Kauravas? Bhishma tells him the same answer. Bhagwan, whatever is your ichha, that alone will happen. You tell me what to do, I will do. Bhagwan just smiles, comes back. Because Bhishma was one person who was on the side of Kauravas, but he was accomplishing Bhagwan's work. It is one thing to accomplish Bhagwan's work by being on his side. But it is very different to be on the opposite side and still have your heart in Bhagwan. Then there is a very beautiful prasanga when the whole war is done. Bhagwan Krishna is sitting on his throne, decked with jewels. And he is staring up, just like this. Must have been a swing going back and forth, just looking up. Yudhishthira comes, by this time he was the king. He comes and says, he looks at Bhagwan, he's just staring up. He says, Bhagwan, did you sleep well? Did you rest well? No answer. He's just looking up, sitting on the throne. Yudhishthira quietly sits down. After some time he asks again, Bhagwan, is everything okay? Bhagwan was thinking about Bhishma. By this time he was on the bed of arrows. He says, what is there to hide from you? My philosophy is, whoever thinks of me, I think of that person. And at the last moments of his life, he is thinking, meditating upon me, so I am meditating upon him. It is said, if you want to know the overall lifestyle of a person, overall day of a person, you should suddenly meet that person at 10 p.m., suddenly meet that person at 4 a.m. Whatever is happening at that time, that is something which they value. And it is also said here, if there is pramada happening at those times, that means dincharya has pramada. Daily routine has some inadvertence. Meaning what? The way we start our day and the way we end our day is most likely the way we will spend our day. That's why that thing is there. Huh? How we start, how we end. If we remember Bhagwan at the end and we remember Bhagwan at the start, most likely we will remember him through the day. If this is true for a day, same thing is true for life. If somebody is remembering God at the last moments of their life, means what? They have remembered Bhagwan throughout their life. He says, that is Bhishma. Bhagwan needed some excuse to go to Bhishma. He deludes Yudhishthira. Suddenly he gets a question, did I do the right thing? Bhagwan says, your question, Bhishma will answer. So all of them go there. All other kings have also gathered. It's a very bhavuka prasanga it is, where his head is down. And he says, can you support my head? Bhishma's head is falling down. All Kauravas, Duryodhana, they go and get nice pillows. Bhishma says, for a Kshatriya, this doesn't befit. He calls Arjuna. He says, can you support my head? Arjuna, through arrows, builds support for his head. Then he says, I'm thirsty. Can you give me some water? Everybody gets different jala. Calls Arjuna. Arjuna brings his Varuna Bana. Through that he pierces the ground, brings water for Bhishma. At this stage, Yudhishthira asks many questions about dharma. And Bhishma answers them one by one. Does a beautiful stuti as Vishnu Sahasranama, taking Bhagwan's name. And when the right time comes, the solar path is ready, at that time gives up his sharira. In Mahabharata, devotion lies in a very subtle way. Ramayana, you can see it very distinctly. One such great devotee was our Bhishma. So whichever topics we choose in Mahabharata has to echo the main tagline of Mahabharata. Yataha Krishnaha tato dharmaha. Wherever there is Bhagwan Krishna, there alone there will be righteousness. Minus Bhagwan Krishna, righteousness will only be a word. It's only a matter of time, our vices will take over. And wherever there is dharma, yato dharmaha tato jayaha. Remember Gurudev's that line that he said, whenever there is a battle between virtues and vices, it is always virtues that win. That is what is portrayed in these different stories. So tomorrow we will see another prasanga from Ramcharitmanas. Okay, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramcharitmanas. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.